Hey everyone, welcome back to Miniature Painting 101, a series of videos where I teach you all about painting miniatures from start to finish and everything in between. And this is part 103. Freehand once again. Today we'll be freehanding a Blood Angels symbol on a left shoulder pad of this Blood Angel Space Marine, perfect for a Blood Angel freehand tutorial. And today we'll be using a yellow one, representing the second company. So we'll start off with an intermediate gray. Now, as I said in my previous one, the first step is you got to use thin down paints. Second, create a framework, fill it in, and then clean up with the background color if you have the opportunity. The reason why we're going to start off with a weathered stone in this step, it's an intermediate gray. It's equivalent to an administratum gray, but it's already thin because it's from Reaper. So if you don't have weathered stone, I recommend administratum gray and thin it down with some Lamea medium, for example. And now we're going to create our blood drop symbol. So as you can see, I'm going to create the framework, which is just two triangles, right? It's an isosceles triangle, and then a half circle at the bottom. Now this gray, as I mentioned, the importance of this gray is to create an intermediate color between the shoulder pad and the symbol, because yellow on top of red can lead to orange or, just an ugly combination. So this gray is going to do two things. It's going to create an intermediate color so that the yellow becomes more true yellow, and then when we're cleaning up with the reds, it doesn't turn orange there either. So this will be it's a great intermediate color. And it's not white, so it tends to go on quite easily. So now we're just going to fill it in, as you can see. So we've gotten about our template made of what the teardrop will look like. Now, when doing the yellows now, we don't have to fill in that entire area. In fact, I recommend not, because it's quite the large area. So now we're going to take Averland Sunset, thin it down with some acrylic medium once again, and then we're going to create our Blood Angels blood drop with yellow inside this gray area. And now you're going to see it's actually going to be quite nice yellow. If you try to do the yellow directly over the red, you're going to have an issue. And I'm going to intentionally not cover this entire gray area. I'm going to do about 3/4 of that surface, or about 80% of it, will actually have the symbol. And once again, I start off by the two triangles, so to the two lines creating the triangle, and then the half circle at the bottom. The key is to break up the symbol into smaller areas and then fill it in. Or usually I say is just, you can make it thicker in either direction, but in this case, then we're just going to fill it in. So as you can see now, with a nice thin paint, and it's quite yellow because we did the gray, we've got our Blood Angel drop. But it's not taking up the entire area. If you look carefully, you can see this. There's a nice line of gray around the yellow, and that's what we want, because especially in this type of freehand, it's way easier to clean up yellow when there's a little bit of gray around it later than going straight onto the yellow. Now we're going to take Eero Yellow and repeat this process. So once again, thin it down with some Lamea medium, and then we're going to color in the entire symbol that we did yellow in the previous step with this Eero Yellow and just get a little bit lighter. Now what I like to do is I like to kind of leave a little bit of darkness in the center, just the very center. That way it kind of looks like it's a little bit more warm, but it's up to you if you want to do that. I just like to, once again, start off with the triangle pieces and then do the half circle and then fill it in. But I'll leave a little bit of darkness in the center. That way it looks kind of like, well, it's a little worn out. So you see, it's a pretty simple pattern, of course. The key is just take your time, use nice thin paints and a steady stroke, and just fill in a little bit at a time. And with practice, you'll get very good at it. And I always recommend propping up your hands if you have a problem with shaky hands, but that's it. So now we're going to take our mid-tone of the background color, as I recommend, if you have the opportunity. It doesn't work for some combinations of colors, but in this one it actually works quite well. So in this case, the mid-tone is Evil Sun Scarlet. So once again, thin it down with some acrylic medium, and now we're going to go around that trim and cut it in and clean up the lines for this Blood Angel symbol. And what you're going to notice is the symbol looks much smaller in the end, because now I'm erasing the gray, essentially, and that's all I'm doing. And just cleaning it up, practicing my nice clean strokes, because you want the top part of the symbol to be basically a perfect triangle, an isosceles triangle, and then the bottom part to be a half circle. So I'm just going to go around it and clean up the gray, and just go a little bit into the yellow, just to clean up, get a nice sharp line. And as I said, when it dries, it's going to create a little bit of an area of definition around it. And that's it. And that's what this symbol looks like when I'm all done. It was pretty easy to do, but I always recommend that gray to start off with, because as you can see now, it's a really bright, vibrant yellow, and the red around it, when you clean it up, ends up adding some definition to it. And it looks like a really clean Blood Angel simple, and it's pretty easy to do. Just takes a little bit of practice. Use thin paints, create the skeleton, fill it in, and then clean up with the background color. And that's a Blood Angel freehanding symbol in a nutshell. And you can do it with any color you want, depending on what company. So thank you as always for watching this episode of Miniature Painting 101. I really hope you enjoyed it and learned a bit about freehand. And stay tuned for part 104, which is next week as always, just around the corner. But if you don't want to wait for next week, check out The Warp. Click on the link below for a free 14-day trial to my premium YouTube channel. We're not only going to see the next 6 months worth of Miniature Painting 101 episodes before anyone else. You get to see over 100 start-to-finish painting tutorials, dozens of battle reports and face-off episodes, an Airbrush 101 series, and a Q&J series. Just tons of content. I know you'll love it. Go check out The Warp. Stay tuned for more episodes. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting, everyone.